Like you're probably in this belief that it's already November and that Christmas is almost here. But we do have to go through November first. By the way, please don't forget that clocks will fall back by an hour this weekend. So make sure you make those adjustments, especially with your sleep, so that you can get through this challenging transition. Speaking of challenges, this month of November, as part of our GCF, our weekly GCF Peel Talk, we are going to tackle another crisis in our experience as human beings. And that's the crisis of being able to forgive. It's a challenge that we all experience and that I personally have trouble with many more times than I care to admit. Forgiving someone for an offense is hard, especially when that transgression is deep. Often we are inclined to retaliate, maybe not physically but verbally. Our hearts and minds may be more ready to forgive than our mouths and tongues can. In James chapter 3 verse 2 it reads, "We all stumble in many ways. Anyone who is never at fault in what they say is perfect, able to keep their whole body in check." It's interesting that James begins this verse by saying we all stumble or in essence fail or falter in many ways. Then he quickly points out the fault of what we say as if that's worthy of pointing out compared to many other things that we stumble upon. And it's true. Our tongue is a powerful weapon. It can build, but it can most definitely break. An untimely or a harsh word can tear down relationships. They can destroy marriages. They can destroy our children's sense of worth and value. James says here that a troubled tongue is a universal disorder. It affects everyone. No one is immune to this dilemma. Recognizing that we are all vulnerable to the temptation of a testy tongue means that we need to be aware that we are all susceptible to using what we say as a weapon. Every one of us at least needs to acknowledge that we can succumb to this temptation. And when we do, it's lightning fast. It will happen in an instant when we're not vigilant of such temptation. The Lord made this known to James, which is why James wrote that if you are or have never been faulted with what you say, that person is perfect. So much so that they are able to keep their entire body in check. That's how influential and impacting our tongues are. Ever been hurt by someone, by what someone said? Ever hurt someone by what you said? Likely answer to both is yes. I know I have. That's why we're asked to be merciful and patient. We've all been recipients of heartbreaking language. And if we're being honest, we've also been responsible for breaking hearts because of what we've said. That's why forgiveness is key, especially in this context. It is often more difficult to forgive someone for what they said rather than for what they did. Hurtful language cuts more deeply and painfully. Knowing this, let's be more vigilant about the words that come out of our mouth. Jesus said that it's what comes out of our mouth that defiles us. Let's tame this troubled tongue with the Lord's help. We need divine strength to overcome such a dangerous instrument. Let's be more gracious, patient, and sensitive to everyone we relate to or connect, especially with strangers on the road. Let's overcome road rage with road grace, for example. We can confront error or wrongdoing, but let's do it with the utmost care and compassion. We don't have to be silent before wrongdoing, but let's make sure that we deal with it with loving authority. Of all the things we can stumble in, let's definitely pay closer attention to how we can stumble with our words. Instead, let's use our words to heal, to nourish, to encourage, to inspire, to instruct, and to speak the truth of God lovingly as we share the good news of Jesus Christ to everyone. Enjoy the rest of the week and God bless.